Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. Pakistan has stepped up diplomatic efforts to end the ongoing US-Iran war, with Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar stressing that dialogue remains the only viable path to lasting peace. High-level talks in Islamabad brought together foreign ministers from Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, all expressing strong support for negotiations to de-escalate tensions. The discussions focused on restoring regional stability, including proposals to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a vital global oil route disrupted by the conflict. Pakistan has also signaled its readiness to host direct talks between Washington and Tehran, as officials warn that continued fighting could further destabilize the Middle East and global energy markets. For more on this, we go to our Islamabad correspondent, Sarah William.
Thank you, Chris. Diplomatic activity here in Islamabad has intensified significantly, with Pakistan positioning itself as a key mediator in the crisis. Officials say the involvement of major regional players like Turkey and Saudi Arabia reflects a growing consensus that the conflict must be resolved through dialogue. There is particular urgency around reopening the Strait of Hormuz, as disruptions there are already impacting global oil supply chains. While no formal talks between the US and Iran have been confirmed yet, Pakistan's offer to host negotiations is being seen as a crucial step toward de-escalation. Back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Global oil prices are surging sharply as the Middle East conflict widens. Brent crude is heading for a record monthly increase, crossing $115 per barrel after Yemeni Houthi forces launched fresh attacks on Israel. U.S. crude has also climbed above $101, extending last week's strong gains. Analysts say markets are now pricing in a major escalation, with hopes of diplomacy fading despite ongoing claims of talks with Iran. The conflict has expanded beyond the Persian Gulf into the Red Sea and Bab al-Mandeb, raising serious concerns over global oil supply routes. The US-Israel war on Iran has now entered its 30th day, with fighting spreading beyond Iran's borders. Reports indicate that Iran continues to resist sustained US and Israeli strikes, even as attacks target military, industrial, and civilian infrastructure. Meanwhile, Iran and its regional allies, including Hezbollah and the Houthis, have intensified coordinated attacks across multiple fronts, increasing pressure on Israel and US assets. Unrest in Bahrain and growing instability across the region are further complicating the situation, with analysts warning the conflict is turning into a prolonged regional war with rising human and economic costs. 1 month into the war, US President Donald Trump is facing mounting pressure with no clear exit strategy in sight. Rising global oil prices and declining domestic approval ratings are adding to the challenge. Washington is weighing options between escalating military action and pursuing a diplomatic deal, but Iran has rejected recent peace proposals as unrealistic. Despite heavy strikes, Iran continues missile attacks and maintains control over key routes such as the Strait of Hormuz. Mixed signals from the US, shifting between diplomacy and force, have created uncertainty among allies. Meanwhile, power outages have been reported across parts of Iran following fresh attacks targeting key energy infrastructure. Iranian media say electricity disruptions affected areas of Tehran, Alborz, and Karaj shortly after the strikes. Authorities report that emergency teams are working to restore power, though the full extent of the damage remains unclear. The targeting of energy facilities marks a significant escalation, highlighting the growing strategic importance of infrastructure in the conflict. Iran has also issued a warning of potential strikes on key industrial sites in Israel and Gulf states, further escalating tensions. The warning follows continued US and Israeli airstrikes on Iranian infrastructure, including major steel production facilities. Tehran says it will respond strongly, signaling a possible expansion of targets beyond military installations. The conflict, which began in late February, has already caused significant casualties and damage, raising fears of a wider regional escalation. And finally, another Pakistani worker has been killed in an Israeli strike near Iran's Bandar Abbas port, bringing the total number of Pakistani casualties to 5 since the conflict began. The latest incident highlights the growing risks faced by expatriate workers across the region, as the war expands beyond Iran into key economic zones. Pakistani nationals have previously lost their lives in separate incidents in the UAE and during missile interceptions since late February. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.